Hi, it's Jonah, and today I'm going to be talking about some personal leadership styles that I've learned about in the textbook and in the lectures. So, the two questions that I decided to focus on were the one about leadership theories and how I develop my personal leadership skills, as well as dealing with difficult people in leadership. So, leadership, I believe, is a skill that can be taught and learned. And learning about different leadership styles and ways of communicating is really important to making sure everyone is feeling heard and represented as a leader. I think leadership is a really important thing in the world of business, specifically as I am a finance major, so it's very big in my future field and in the workplace in general. I also think it goes along with the chain of command in every business and company, and it correlates with the caliber of leaders that are made in those corporate settings. So learning how to communicate with everyone effectively is essential to becoming a good and well-rounded leader. Being able to lead people who are difficult is often frustrating. I'll talk about it a little bit later for an example that I had with someone who was really frustrating that I had to deal with in my specific circumstance. But it can also teach you ways of communicating that you can't learn in a book. Real life application is really important for becoming a good leader and being able to understand what kind of situation you're in and allow yourself to exude confidence and be able to lead in times of need when people need you the most. So I'm going to talk about my leadership skills as it relates to Boy Scouts. I was a Boy Scout all throughout middle school and high school, and I'm also an Eagle Scout. I held several different leadership positions in the troop, but my favorite was the senior patrol leader, which is just under the adult scout leader. So I was basically the head of all the scouts. I was making a lot of big decisions about the budget, a lot of big decisions about what kind of events we were doing. And this is also an elected position, which means that it's an example of reverent power, which we learned about in textbook chapter 10, because people really respected and admired me and trusted me to make the decisions of the troop. This kind of power allowed me to grow relationships with scouts that I really didn't know very well. Um, and I wanted to make sure everyone's voices were heard when we were discussing things that would impact everyone. I wanted to make everyone understand that they were a part of the process as well. This kind of leadership style is very democratic and severant, which we also learned about in textbook chapter 10, because I wanted the scouts to be aware that I make the official decisions, but at the same time it's really them that's helping. It's not just one person helping the entire troop. Um, and overall, I really just wanted to create a better scouting environment, and I wanted everyone to be able to have a good time and to be able to get their requirements done to go up the ranks. So, an example of a difficult communication interaction I had, we had a scout named David in our troop that was always very difficult to deal with because he was very stubborn and expected to get his way with everything. So, when I was the senior patrol leader, I had to figure out a way to deal with and help David so that we could keep the troop going and he wouldn't be a disruption. But at the same time, I wanted him to feel included. I wanted him to be part of that democratic style of leadership that I loved so much. So I found that assertive communication, which we talked about in lecture one, was the most effective strategy for dealing with people like David. I needed to stand up for the needs of the troop, but I also wanted to make sure that he felt included and understood and that his voice was being heard so that he could have a valid opinion on the things that we were discussing. So, using statements that didn't feel like I was targeting or blaming him necessarily always helped me, and I think that it really helped him feel like a bigger part of the group. Um, and then I would always listen for his feedback, and we would try to make the best out of what was happening, and we would try to think of solutions together that would impact him and the troop and me, and everyone would be happy. So, being the senior patrol leader of my Boy Scout troop allowed me to really grow and understand what leadership meant. Um, and it also helped me foster new relationships within the group. I believe that there can be natural born leaders, but leadership is also a big skill that you can learn. And being successful, and excuse me, leadership is very important to being successful in your future career and in the workplace. So I think that learning as much as you can about different communication styles and leadership styles can help you progress as a leader and as a person. Thank you.